Good morning, guys. It's Friday, September 8th. We got a bunch of actionable trade ideas for you today. All right. Without even looking at the indices, there's just too much going on. Okay. Does that work now? All right. Lots of actionable trade ideas. NVIDIA, number one pick of the day. All right. We have news on everything you're seeing on your screen right now. We'll go through it and then we'll prioritize it. I will tell you, though, NVIDIA will end up being number one. So NVIDIA has been taking a beating along with the NASDAQ the last couple of days. Now, part of this beating is Apple taking the Nasdaq down, which takes Nvidia down. That's part of it. But Nvidia, two major catalysts this morning. One of it you can see in the news feed here. It says Nvidia and Reliance Industries to create AI infrastructure mightier than the fastest supercomputer in India. Okay, you can take a look at that. So, and here it is: Reliance and Nvidia partner to advance AI in India. And India, is a huge market. Everyone's excited about India. So saw that this morning. I'm like, that could be a catalyst that can turn NVIDIA around. And then what did we get? We got something that's not even here. It's from Routers. Okay, let me get the text for you from Routers. From Routers, a story came out like about an hour ago or less. It was probably right around here at 8:30 or 8:20 a.m. Okay, from Routers, India's Tata Group. India's Tata Group is set to announce an AI partnership with U.S. chip firm NVIDIA. A source with direct knowledge of the matter told Routers an announcement is expected later in the day. Now, Routers also talked about the Reliance. And meanwhile, India's Reliance and NVIDIA set on Friday they have formed a partnership to create AI language models and generative apps for millions of telecom users of the Indian company. So two major India catalysts, one which already happened, one which is speculation about a deal that can be announced later in the day. And to me, this is an opportunity. Now we're seeing even Apple and Tesla up, but NVIDIA is still down for the day. I already got a position in NVIDIA, NVDL, which is a long ETF 1.5 times. Might even do some call options at the open on NVIDIA. So that's going to be your number one big cap pick of the day. Then we have Apple. JP Morgan came out, defended Apple, and basically said, hey, yeah, the revenue is going to go down by like 5 or 6%, something like that. At most, or was it 4%? Somewhere in the low to mid single digits. And this sell-off is overdone, overblown. Yes, we've reduced our price target, but we've reduced it from 235 to 230. And it's time to get back in Apple. I'm not getting back in Apple. Just let you know, that's the news that could. And QQQ. Tesla with a little bit of news out. Oh, why is I put Joseph Levy on my screen? Sorry. How you doing, Joseph? You're not supposed to be here. Okay. So I be like here all the time. I'm hearing this background noise. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, we'll talk to Joseph later. All right, that's so funny. In any case, Tesla had some news about their Powerwall. I don't know if it's in the news flow. It was on Twitter. Here it is. Tesla rolls out optimized third generation Powerwall. Musk touts uninterruptible power supply for most homes. So a little catalyst there. This is just in a chop zone, though, if you ask me. Trader's delight if you're into technical trading and trading volatility and chops between the 20 and 50 DMA. So not a top pick for me today. Palantir, there was two news items out. Palantir, yesterday, they said they were having an event next Thursday. I believe it's next Thursday. Palantir customers to feature artificial intelligence platform in action at AIPCon with 30 plus presentations and demos, basically of how their customers are using Palantir software for AI. 30 plus demonstrations next week. This is important because if you remember on the most recent earnings, the stock was kind of punished because their AI revenue didn't explode. Okay. And it's a very overvalued company. So the criticism is, hey, when are they actually going to see a boost in AI revenue? So I think this is the response to the investor community. Hey, look at this. This is actually, we have traction. It's happening. 30 plus demonstrations. So look, our future looks bright. I think that's the story here. That's that event's next Thursday. And then also this morning, there was a press release out on, there it is, Polyclinico. Why do you say that? Polyclinico. How do you say that? Polyclinico Gemini. What the heck is that? Polyclinico Gemini and Palantir Technologies partner use AI to advance data science for healthcare. All right, so two AI news items, one last night, one this morning. But Palantir is probably the most expensive AI stock that's out there. So just based on the fundamentals, not necessarily going to be a focus for me here. But with the event coming up next week, I wouldn't be surprised to see this make a move towards $16. The problem is, especially because it's overvalued, you need the NASDAQ to cooperate. If the NASDAQ doesn't cooperate, then Palantir may have a hard time making that move towards 16. If it stops declining right now, and let's take a quick look at it. If it stops declining right now, then maybe Palantir can make that move over the next few days in anticipation of that event. You can see it tried to bounce off the 20 DMA yesterday, so it's tough. I'm not very bullish on the market right now. I'm just playing bounces. I think this is just bounce opportunities. I'm pretty bearish at the moment, but maybe Apple's declined enough for 2 days. Maybe we get a QQQ bounce. Don't forget, we have CPI, I think, coming out next Wednesday. Okay, so that could be something the market's concerned about that we got to get past. All right, that's the story on the big caps. Out of all those, NVIDIA, to me, the only actionable one. That's the top pick for the day. DocuSign had earnings, and they beat and raised, and they're a $300 million buyback. I did some math on the beat and the valuation, and I came up with like 54 is kind of like a good fair value at a minimum on Docu, and that just happened to be at the 200 DMA 54. Interesting how that that's just a coincidence, I think. But this is not such an expensive company anymore. It's not like a growth company. I mean, with this valuation now, you're talking about PE in the I think it was in the 20s that I calculated, maybe the mid 20s times 2024 earnings. So it's like a growth company with a low PE. So this is, maybe not a bad stock for the long term. Could make its way back to 54. It hit 54 this morning. It hit 54 last night, pulling back. I could see this making a move back to 54, maybe even higher. But again, the NASDAQ, if it doesn't cooperate, that's going to be a tough one. All right. Now, this is why I like, and sometimes I'm wrong about this, but this is actually why I sometimes like the microcaps, because I feel like if you have an individual catalyst on a microcap, it can overcome a bad market. That's at least my thesis, but it doesn't always work out that way. So now let's move into the microcaps. So those are your big caps. Out of the big caps, I would actually say NVIDIA number 1, Docu number 2, okay, for today. Now let's move to these microcaps. I didn't even have EOSC on the list till like right before showtime. Julian told us the stock's moving up. We did see that last night that the stock was moving up. This is post this big contract. I mean, the loan guarantee or something from the U.S. government that they got to build something out. So it popped and then it dropped because there's still an expectation. There's this big project. I forgot what it's called. But the government's covering 80% of it. They have to pay for the other 20%. Remember, the analyst came out then and said, hey, they're going to have to cover this other 20% with an equity offering. And that's probably why it went down. But now this morning, we have ISI, Evercore ISI raised their price target from $4 to $17. Wow. $4 to $17. I mean, is that a typo? Was it 14? I don't know. But in any case, 4 to 17. That's a big increase. I'm looking at this and thinking, even forgetting about that, like this is just a little bit of volatility, just a little bit of a bounce back compared to where it was the other day. And like this can easily go to 350 and not even mean anything, right? But percentage wise, that's a big move. I wasn't going to play this volatility when I saw it last night, but with the upgrade that we just got to 17, it gives me more conviction. Now we got multiple pillars that I got more conviction it can make a move towards 350. That's your next resistance level on EOSE. So that's a good pick for the day in the microcap world. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 others on microcaps, and then that's it. So Assure Software, they had good earnings, but then they did an offering, blindsided everyone with an offering. Stock went down, gapped down from like 14 to 12, meandered there for a long time. I don't know what this pop was about. Pulled back again, back to that 12s where it was meandering at. And then this morning, Stifel initiated with a $15 price target, initiated a buy with a $15 price target. I'm thinking that's enough of a catalyst for it to get back to kind of where it was a few days ago, which is back, let's say, towards 1250, 1250 to 1280 in that range, possibly. Well, you know what? You also have resistance at 12, but I'm thinking the 12 is going to break on this news. So 1250 to 1280, that kind of range. I wouldn't chase it at the ask here. The spread's too big at 1237. If you can get in at the bid, 1175 or on a pullback, I think Assure Software could do well today. RRGB, man, that's been tough. We've been trying this multiple times and it kept on failing. So is this the time finally it goes up? Why are we bringing it up again? Okay, this is highly shorted, 20% short. They did a sale leaseback the other day, a second sale leaseback, which improves their balance sheet. And last night we had an insider buy. Insider buys 10,000 shares at $10. That's a $100,000 purchase. So you can see people are excited this morning, up 3%. Oh, only on 4 shares, but the bid is 1030. How big is that bid? Let's see, 100 shares at 1030, also 100 shares at 1022. In any case, this is something I wouldn't mind taking a risk on at the right price. I'm not going to chase it at 1060. If I can get in at like, let's see what we closed out yesterday. If I can get in at like 1005 to like max 1030 where the current bid is now, that's something I'd like to play. Insider buy with fundamentals improving, with high short position, with MACD flipping, with the target at the 20 DMA. RGB, I think, is a nice little bet for today as well. Geo's interesting to me. Maybe we can be ahead of the crowd here a little bit. Geo's been flatlined for a while. Okay, there was a news article last night at like 6:30 p.m. LA Times came out. LA Times came out with an article. I don't know if I put it in the app. It might be. Let me see if it's in here. Well, if it's not, maybe someone else can put it in for us. Well, it's probably in the VIP chat here. I mentioned it. Probably put the link in the VIP chat. Let's see. Did I? Did I not? I didn't. Okay, I didn't talk about this in the VIP chat yet. All right. So there's an LA Times article out there. Someone ought to put it in. That the White House, Biden administration, is looking to change their policy of how they deal with immigrants. It seems to be targeting Texas, but I don't know if it will only be for Texas or all the southern borders. But basically, they're saying they want to keep the immigrants that come in, the illegal immigrants. They want to ensure they stay in the state they've crossed in rather than being spread out through the whole country. Now, I don't know whatever motivation they have for that. That's not for this show. Okay, but I'll tell you this. What the article specifically says is that they're considering the use of ankle bracelets to do GPS monitoring on the immigrants in order to ensure they stay within state lines. Okay. So, and the reason they're saying that is because it says, okay, if the court case doesn't work out, they're basically a court case scheduled, then they're released. And then if it's ruled against them, their asylum that they're looking for, if it's ruled against them, they need to be deported back to the country from which they came. So they're saying the reason for this ankle bracelet monitoring is so they're closer to the border. They're easier to apprehend, right? Rather than someone crosses to Texas and then they go to New York or Alaska, it's going to be harder to find them. But if they stay within Texas, it's easier to find them, and then we can deport them back to Mexico or wherever they cross from. That's their reasoning, and this is based on 3 sources within the White House or the Biden administration saying that they're actively considering some sort of I don't know if that can be done with an executive order or legislation, but basically ankle bracelet monitoring is in the news. And guess what? That's what Geo does. All right. So, sometimes it's good to be ahead of the crowd and like buy the rumor and then sell the news or sell the anticipation after that. So I'd like to be first when the rumor comes out. So I think we already grabbed a small position here. And I think Geo could be a nice little PSQH, the thesis on that. We killed it on AREB yesterday, hit all our targets, 140, 170, 1/2. So we did well on AREB, and we moved our profits into PSQH because of the multiple tweets they sent out late yesterday. No chart for you here, unfortunately. All right, I don't have time to show you the E-Trade chart, but basically the stock is flatlined for a while. So I think the risk reward is good here. So it doesn't have that much room to the downside based on where it's been trading. And now you have this catalyst of what's going on with the safe company, Liberty Safe, right? That was the catalyst for AREB doubling. And now PSQH, 2 statements out, one by the company, one by the CEO, say, hey, we have 3 safe companies available on our platform, and you can trust the vendors on our platform. They'll protect your constitutional rights, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the catalyst. Maybe we can get a pop on PSQH. Man, let me look at the technicals. I'm sorry. I just can't. You know what? Let me just get a Webull. All right, I got to switch apps anyway at some point. Yeah, I'm probably going to get an E-Trade when we do it, though, because I don't love the news feed on Webull. It's not very good. But, okay, PSQH, let's see. How do we even do that? There we go. Okay, so there's the daily. Here are moving averages. There. Oh, that. Okay, nothing beats TD. All right, so got some candle resistance up here at 1265. I guess that could be a target. 1250 also up here at 1250 to 1265. And then we'll see if we get like a bigger move and some excitement. I would say like the 14s somewhere in there is a possibility if this takes off. It might not take off, but if it does, 1250 to 14 is what I'm looking for on PSQH. And also remember on PSQH, we're still waiting. It didn't happen. They're supposed to get a lot more exposure once they advertise on the Tucker Carlson show. All right, once we've seen that's supposed to come. Also, Donald Trump Jr. is like a big advocate for PSQH, has been silent on it since the IPO. Maybe with what's going on with the safe, Liberty Safe, maybe he'll say something, and maybe that'll be another catalyst for PSQH to keep on going up. I have a message here. We've seen divergence between ARK and QQQ. Shouldn't Palantir and Tesla Moon be more reliant on how ARK does? Currently, I say QQQ red and ARK was green. Let's see. And ARK and Tesla have the same chart. It looks like ARK and Tesla between the 20 and the 50 DMA. I mean, technically, it does look a little better than QQQ. There's arguments. I've been making the argument for a long time that ARK can outperform QQQ just because it's been down so bad for so long, and maybe it's going to come up before the rest of the market. But that proved not to be true in August. In August, ARK, when QQQ went down, ARK, got punished the most. And the issue is really about interest rates. And if interest rate expectations don't come down, ARK will continue to get punished the most, along with IWM, because they need access to debt, these growth companies and these microcaps. So TLT, you can see it just crashed recently. That means interest rates go up. This was the August crash here. This August move is why ARK got demolished. And then you get another move here because people are worried still about interest rates. So that's really not good macroeconomically. The question is it priced in? It's hard to know, man. Let me just look at IWM. That's what I thought. I thought that was going to be the case in August, but it didn't work out. So I do worry about that. So I don't know. Nothing for sure. All right. Let's wrap it up here. So top pick, NVIDIA, and then you have Docu as, top larger cap pick. But you know what? If I'm going to be ordering it just based mixing up, if I'm going to be mixing the big caps and the small caps, let's make some changes. Gotta move some of these up. So let's move up those small caps up here. In fact, this was not even supposed to be on the show, but now I kind of like it a lot. ESOE, and then Assure, RRGB, Geo, and PSQH. I only have one big cap in the top 5 or 6 here. So NVIDIA, let's see if we can fine tune this a little bit more. I'm actually going to go Geo. I'm going to take a risk and put Geo ahead of Assure. And then, yeah, that's about right. PSQH, this is more speculative. Okay, that's the order for you. NVIDIA, EOSC with a target of 350. By the way, what's a target on NVIDIA? Let's take a look at this. This gap here, okay? So 465 to 470 could be in play easily. If they get that Tata thing later in the day, if the NASDAQ's not barfing and throwing up, right, then maybe NVIDIA can do something crazier. Maybe it can go to 475, 480. It depends how this news is going to be received from Tata if it actually happens later this afternoon. So NVIDIA, EOSE are the top 2. Then we start getting into a little more speculation with Geo, RRGB, PSQH. Assure, less speculative, but good luck, guys. What do I have here? We've been missing our shows because everyone's been so busy because the market's been crazy. So you just have to watch. Like, we couldn't get Chris Tuttle in this week. I'm sorry. And we couldn't get in Rex last week. We might do a show with him today. You just got to stay tuned for the notifications in the app in case we do that show with him today. All right? I'm trying to arrange it. Take care, guys. We'll see you later. Good luck.